May I ask how old you are? That's not too
I'm
personal.
34.
Yeah, well, I'm 35, so we both have very fond memories of 1998 and eating our shreddies and hoping some semen's going to tumble out of our shreddies.
Yeah.
Ivo Graham is an award-winning stand-up comic and comedy writer. Star of radio and TV, Ivo has appeared on Have I Got News For You, QI, Mock the Week and Taskmaster. He's had critically acclaimed shows at Edinburgh Fringe and is about to tour the country once again. His first book, Yardsticks for Failure, was published in May of this year.
I should say, hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to What Do You Want to Talk About? This is Ivo.
Hello. Nice to be here.
What do you want to talk about?
I think that's a very generous way to set up an interview, but I find it quite stressful, actually. I've got all sorts of hot topics and hobby horses, but I'd love to be guided by you a little.
Okay.
So I'd like to ask music, film, or sport?
I don't want to cast aspersions about you.
Okay.
But I feel like neither of us would find a happy home in sport.
It's a shame. I presented it as one of my 3 options.
Yeah.
Incredibly insulting. I've got so many happy homes in
Have you?
sport.
Okay, let's do sport.
No, high pressure now, immediately. Do you have a favourite football team?
I do. I am an Arsenal supporter.
Terrific.
Let me tell you why.
Great. And then I'll go to my orange box. Fantastic. You're telling me this isn't a happy home of sport?
This is, wow, okay, we get props.
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
What would you have done if I hadn't have said sport?
I think the orange box would have come out eventually anyway.
I support Arsenal because my stepdad does, which is the nice reason. And also because it's got the word arse in it.
Yeah.
And I just quite like that.
That's a bit of fun.
And also the tube that goes to Arsenal goes from Cockfosters. And I find that to be a really...
You have to be made of stone to not give way to the beautiful poetry of that. So in my orange box, I've got loads of football cards. And what I've got is a mixture of modern players in this hand, and then we've got vintage players.
I misjudged you. I completely... mea culpa.
Yeah.
On camera.
Thank you for doing an on-camera mea culpa. Nobody should be misjudging my enthusiasm to get out my football cards at any point in time. You could have gone music or film, and we'd have had a lovely time.
And we would, but
I wouldn't now be asking you if you want a modern Arsenal player or a vintage Arsenal player. Vintage.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So when I was 8 years old, you'd get these little packs of Pro Match 98 cards in shreddies, and so you'd open them with great glee. And there's 10 in the pack.
Yeah.
And the dream is that you would have a bit of foil is still in my mouth.
Do you need a moment? Just push through it.
No. I think the viewers will forget about the foil in my mouth soon. So there are 10 cards in here.
Okay.
So there are obviously 20 teams in the Premier League from 1998. So I reckon there's about 1 in 3 chance of there being an Arsenal player here.
Okay.
So you've got Kevin Gallagher of Blackburn. Never mind. You've got Samasi Abu of West Ham. Never mind. You've got Richard Gough of Rangers. Never mind. You've got Dion Dublin of Coventry and Homes Under the Hammer. That's probably our best non-Arsenal one so far.
Okay, great. Good.
I'm afraid you've got a Spurs player, Les
No,
Ferdinand.
shame.
Peter Schmeichel of Manchester United. Not bad, thank you very much.
I know about him. I remember that's actually the first name that I've recognised.
Yeah, not even Dion Dublin from Homes Under the Hammer. Never mind. So, we'll swap him out then. So there we go. There's your backup.
Great.
You probably aren't going to be so keen on Simon Grayson of Aston Villa, or Paul Kitson of West Ham, or Martin Darlene of Blackburn Rovers, or David Batty playing for England.
David Batty.
David Batty. Yeah, of course you're going to have a lovely bit of David Batty to go with your Cockfosters in your arse. So there we go. So there would be no Arsenal cards in that pack, and that's a great shame.
Furious.
But you're probably thinking, I can't be taking a whole pack of these to every vodcast in the hope that I'm able to produce an Arsenal card. And you're absolutely right. So what I'll do when I get home is I will factor all of these into my alphabetized mega deck. So this is not my alphabetized mega deck.
No, sure, that's an orange box.
It's pretty mega, but it's not mega. It's what I've got here is I've got a slimline deck. So I've got 1 player per team from 1998. But I'm aware, obviously, I'm in London. You're bumping into Arsenal fans the whole time, so I've actually got 3 Arsenal players.
Really?
Just in case.
Okay.
For you. So you can have, and I think I know what you're going to go for based on some of the wordplay we've enjoyed so far.
Oh wait, I think I know where this is going.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
So you don't want Dennis Bergkamp, great player, no wordplay. You don't want Martin Keown, great if slightly angry player,
What can I
no
do with
wordplay. But I think you might enjoy. Who am I holding here?
Is it?
It's another goalkeeper.
Oh fuck! Is it David Seaman?
It is David Seaman. Take him to Cockfosters.
Thank you, David.
So that's fantastic to have done that. However, what I have learned, and may I ask how old you are? That's not too.
I'm 34.
Yeah, well, I'm 35, so we both have very fond memories of 1998 and eating our shreddies and hoping some semen's going to tumble out of our shreddies.
Yeah.
However, for younger, occasionally I went to, for example, my old school to give a talk, and I took my orange box because it's a crutch. It's a confidence crutch.
I mean, we've all got our crutches.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. And who's to say which is the more dangerous addiction? I'd say this is certainly the more socially acceptable addiction.
No, I don't know. Crack a glass of wine out in a pub, you maybe get a rise from one person.
Oh, yeah.
Crack these out in a pub.
I love taking these to the pub. I've been told off by my brother for spending too much time chatting to strangers about my orange box at the pub. I'm afraid to say it delivers because we've got all 20 Premier League teams covered from 1998. But for younger viewers, such as the ones at my school who weren't born in 1998, so they might have enjoyed some of the punditry of David Seaman or Peter Schmeichel, but they hadn't enjoyed them live with their shreddies. So we've got some modern ones as well.
Oh, great.
And they're not beautifully drawn like these lovely
It's very
caricatures.
like New Statesman.
It's very
Do you know
new.
what I mean?
What a fantastic, goodness me.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's such a lovely reference.
Giving New Statesman. This guy's going to write like a shitty column.
I think David Batty's going to write a beautiful column actually about probably the heartache of missing a penalty in 1998 and his life since as a relative recluse. People do not know where David Batty is.
I'm going to leave that where it is.
Okay, but they can tackle it in the comments.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a very quick side story about the New Statesman?
Please.
It's actually about the Financial Times, so it's not relevant.
No, we're here now.
Okay.
We might as well do it. Let's go.
The New Statesman have got lovely cartoons of some of their writers and some of their subjects, but there's also a feature in the Financial Times called Lunch with the FT, where there's a lovely sort of caricature. What I would describe these as is heroic caricatures.
This isn't what you get on like the seafront at Southend, which is rude.
Which is mean,
Yeah.
which will attack you at your weakest point. With these though, and with the Financial Times, they'll do a drawing of, for example, Rachel Reeves. In October, the then Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves did lunch with the FT at Betty's in Harrogate. Have you been to Harrogate?
I have not been to Harrogate.
It's the jewel of the North. And Betty's is the jewel of the North. It's a lovely tea room. And my best friend Matt, he lives in Harrogate. And the following week I was due to be seeing him before my gig in Harrogate. And I said, well, the only thing for us to do is go to Betty's tea rooms, just like Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves. I'll interview you like it's lunch with the FT, and then I'll write it up. And so for his birthday, a few months later, I gave him like a framed mock article of our lunch that we'd had written up like it was an article, like I was grilling him. And the things that I really lost the most sleep for the night before his birthday were getting exactly the right pink for the FT. It's very specific pink. And also getting the caricature of my friend Matt done by someone on the internet who I probably overpaid. So anyway, we've had quite enough fun with these, but if you wanted a modern Arsenal one, I'd actually probably disappoint you with Fabio Vieira. And now I'm afraid we're into the real agenda. So I support Swindon Town, and Swindon Town were never in the shreddies. And this was a great disappointment to me as a child in the late 90s. So of course I've done the natural thing, which is to make my own. So yet more artwork commissioned
From the 90s?
No, the full spread. So like these go back as far as...
Is that Mr. Bean?
Excuse me? Who are we talking about
This
here?
guy, he looks like...
This one, Don Rogers.
Tell me that does not look a little bit like Rowan Atkinson.
We're talking a sort of white brunette here, but I think that's where the similarities end. I think Don Rogers is actually a very serious man, which is why he was able to score 2 goals against Arsenal in the, and I think you'll enjoy this, 1969 League Cup final.
Lovely.
It's the only trophy Swindon have ever won, and I'm talking about it a lot to try and restore sort of pride. And I'm part of a fan group called the Spirit of 69, and I'm trying to make tickets for everything I do, £19.69 as well, just to keep the date in people's minds. And then I'm afraid I couldn't resist, once the wheels were in motion, making one of myself playing for Swindon as well. It says 69 on the shorts, so I'm very pleased with it.
I've basically got a deck. I've got a whole football team.
Yeah, it's a very solid 5-a-side team, that actually.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a Swindon 11 because I'm trying to sort of channel as many things as possible around my hometown of Swindon through conversations around the club. I would really like to play a wholesome role in the future of the club and the community around it. I'd like to make lots more of these kids. I'd like to make lots more of these kids. These are not my kids. I'd like to make a lot more of these cards. Let me just tidy up the cards.
Okay, sorry, I apologise.
So Glenn Hoddle was drawn by Yashra in Pakistan. Or, as some of my friends have suggested, Yashra has just used AI, which would be heartbreaking because I paid Yashra a lot of money. So I found her on Upwork, and I was an absolute menace. However, the second second edition of these cards, and it does worry my family when I use expressions like second edition. They're going to be drawn by Swindon-based school children.
That's very
I think
cute.
that's what it's all about. I'm delighted to do the admin. I've written all of the lovely biographies on the back. No one else is writing these biographies. So the kids are going to do these. I was talking to a friend of mine called Simon, who works for an educational trust in Swindon. I was talking to him yesterday about how he's going to set it up as an inter-school competition. And ideally, we're going to have the drawings by Christmas. There'll be prizes and rewards, of course. I'm not just using these children for their art.
It's becoming very child
It
laboury.
is not child labour.
Okay.
It is an opportunity of a lifetime. And then I'll print loads and I'll take them to the Swindon match before Christmas, because I'm all about football and nostalgia and taking a bit of pride and delight in our history. And it's all very well, this sort of heroic cartoon of Glenn Hoddle, but imagine it being drawn. It'll say underneath, by, well, it won't say by Ivo of Eton College, because that's me, but it will say, Ben from the Croft or something. They're going to be handed out for free, and I think that's a nice gesture.
It is. Watch this incredible segue.
Wow.
Everyone brace. Did you take the orange box with you to Taskmaster?
Absolutely stunning.
Whoa.
No, I'm afraid Taskmaster Series 15, on which I was very lucky to participate, predates my orange box.